It's time for Live on Lanier. Welcome to Live on Lanier, a monthly podcast brought to you by the Lake Lanier Association. It's September, which means it's once again time for Shore Sweep. Shore Sweep is not only Lake Lanier Association's biggest event every year, it's also the largest single-day freshwater lake cleanup in the entire U.S. To cover all things Shore Sweep 2024, Bonny Putney is joining us with everything you'll need to know. Did you know that every island on the lake that has been protected from eroding away with riprap installations have all been installed by the Lake Lanier Associations and our partners? Over the course of the coming months, thanks to the Lake Lanier Association partnerships with Forsyth, Hall, and Gwinnett counties, and lake levels permitting, we plan to install another full mile of riprap on critical areas and islands of Lake Lanier. This past month, we hosted a tour aboard the Lake Lanier Association's Miss Jackie with members of the Gwinnett County Department of Water Resources, one of our partners in this effort, to tour some of those affected areas on the lake. We'll have an interview with their team during the second part of our program. These are just two of the many programs put on annually by the Lake Lanier Association. For more information on all of our programs and how you can help support our efforts by joining the LLA, please go to lakelanier.org for further information. We'll be right back with Bonnie right after this brief message.
I am a supporter of the LLA because I believe that the work that the Lake Lanier Association does is so important. I feel a personal conviction to do good work and give back to the community. And when I heard about the work that the Lake Lanier Association does to provide a clean lake, a safe lake, and a full lake through these programs that it seems nobody else is doing, it's an easy yes.
I support the LLA because I live, work, and play on Lake Lanier. I met my husband on Lake Lanier. I've raised my family on Lake Lanier. I want this lake to be clean, full, and safe for my children and my grandchildren to enjoy.
I am a supporter of Lake Lanier Association. I've been working with Lake Lanier Association for around 30 years. I don't even remember when I first started doing shore sweep and helping with the cleanups, because it's my backyard. And cleanups and helping, volunteering is one of the few things that we can do as individuals out there and make a difference in our world. I mean, there's so few things that we have any control over, but you can volunteer and you can help and you can make a difference. And that's what we're doing every day.
I was originally a supporter of Lake Lanier Association because I have a business, it's close to the lake, and I did it for commerce purposes. But what I found with Lake Lanier Association is that it's fun. You go to the annual member meetings and it's fun. There's fun people, there's people you haven't seen in a year, there's people on the lake that work there or the businesses on the lake. And so the reason I've stayed with Lake Lanier Association all these years is because of the fun.
I'm a supporter of Lake Lanier Association because this is my community. This is my backyard. We chose to live here. We love this part of the country, and we think that Lake Lanier is just a real gem in the North Georgia mountains, and we want to protect it. So this association, when I became aware of it, was something that really drew me in because we're the only association, really, frankly, that at this magnitude, working with all these different entities, does so much good. So I'm proud to be a part of it.
You just realize how lucky and fortunate we are to have Lake Lanier in our backyard. And when you think about all that it takes to maintain it, there really is no other group out there thinking about Lanier's best interest more than the Lake Lanier Association.
Well, here we go again. It's time for Shore Sweep.
Sweet.
Hey, Bonnie, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for taking the time to come and meet with us again.
'Tis the season, baby.
Saturday, September
Yeah.
21st is about this far away.
I know it comes very quickly. 8 to 1.
8-1.
8 to 1 is when we expect everybody to be showing up at our sites. 14 of them this year,
Wow.
all over the lake.
So if somebody wants to get involved and they don't know what site is closest to where they live or where they can help pick up at, how do they find their site?
Oh, it's so easy. Go to LLA website
Okay.
and go on to Shore Sweep, and you will find a handy dandy map That not only will give you all the sites of Shore Sweep, all 14 of them are listed on there, so you can see on the map exactly where you're located. They also have the advanced site, so people want to do ahead of time and they can't do it on the 21st. There's lots of places to take trash.
Well, let's talk about what they can do ahead of time, starting right now, which is a huge help to us, if you will, please, and that is pre-register.
Please pre-register. It really helps us. We know where people are going. We know how many t-shirts we need to have at each site. We know how many provisions we need to have at each site. We know if we have gaps somewhere where we need to try to send people. So please register.
And it even shows what size t-shirts we need to send to each site. 'Cause
Oh,
they can't put
absolutely. I
that
mean,
in.
it's hard. We don't have a crystal ball to know what's going to go
Right.
happen. And we know that a heck of a lot of people are going to come out, 1,600 of them. And so we expect to be busy and we only have so many t-shirts. So if you want a t-shirt, please make sure that you register and show up at the location that you did register at.
Something worth noting, you just said, we try to have a t-shirt for everybody, but you just never know every year.
Yeah.
So get there early, register today. It's on the Lake Lanier Association website, lakelanier.org, lakelanier.org, Shore Sweep tab. It's really super easy to register.
Yeah, it's very easy.
This past year and this year, it's the easiest sign up I've done online, actually.
Yeah, we have a new system and it really works well for this. The other thing about registering and the t-shirts, we have to turn in how many t-shirts we want and how many sizes like yesterday.
Mhm.
So it's all just a big guess. So it really helps us if you let us know that you're coming and what size t-shirt you want.
And another add-on in registration this year, which would be a big help for all of us, is for groups to be able to go in and register. So if it's a high school group with a teacher supervisor or the Boy Scouts or church, whatever it is, they can go in today and register their group.
Yes, and we do need each individual over 15 to register, please. That's very important. But there is a group registration, and it asks a bunch of questions about t-shirts and people and where you're going and what you plan on doing. Please answer all those questions, and we will get back to you and confirm it and make sure that we have all the information we need to make sure that you have a good experience at Shore Sweep.
So we invite y'all, please don't put that off. Go ahead and register for your family, register for your group. It really helps with the advanced planning and everything going on. Speaking of advanced planning, a week ago we had our first captain's meeting here in the new offices. That was
Yeah,
really
that was
cool.
good. It was a great meeting. We had the captain show up and we all got to talk about all the things that happened during Shore Sweep and how to make it a much better experience for them and for our people that show up and volunteer and do the cleanups.
So for each one of those individual locations, you've got a captain who communicates directly with you, directly with the Lake Lanier Association, and then they've got their own teams built there at their specific site.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, you can't get 80, 90, 100 tons of trash off a lake without doing a lot of pre-planning, a lot of people, a lot of things in motion, lots and lots of logistics. So these captains are all volunteers. Most of them have volunteered year after year after year to do this job, which is just so great for us because there's a big learning curve with Shore Sweep. And they'll be at all the sites. They'll have their teams there and they'll be ready to greet everybody on the 21st.
So if you want to be part of that team that's actually at the site, register way in advance and we'll have the opportunity to get you signed up and perhaps you can participate with us in that way. But the majority of the volunteers are out there gathering trash.
Y-
Let's talk about that a little bit. Actually, what I want to talk about a lot is safety first
Oh,
in everything
yes.
we do.
Yes. Safety, the scariest thing about Shore Sweep isn't how much trash or all the locations or all the equipment. The scary thing is somebody might get hurt. And
Mm.
we want to make sure that doesn't happen. We want to make sure that everybody is safe out there, even those of you out on your boats. When you go out to get trash, please be careful out there. Wear the proper equipment. Wear closed-toed shoes. Wear gloves. Make sure that, if you're going to bring big floats, that they're really secure and that you don't have stuff flying out at you as you're pulling them down the lake. It's a hard job. This is a very difficult cleanup because of those floats, and they're heavy and they're hard to pull. You have to go very, very, very slow. So please, we want to encourage everybody to go get trash, but we really want to encourage everybody to stay safe and do it in a safe, controlled, very conscious effort to get this done.
Well, we have advanced sites, and we'll show you those sites as well throughout the course of this video. But particularly in regards to the floats and the heavy floats, it's to everyone's benefit to go out there early. The advanced sites open up 2 weeks before Shore Sweep
Right, on
Day,
the 7th.
so you have plenty of time to get the floats in the water if they're not, or to get them loose from where they're at. And please, 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 if you can't get them loose and something might go bad trying too hard, just mark where they're at and let us know. We'll circle back and get them later if we
Right.
can. None of this is worth anybody getting hurt over. But to Bonnie's point, you have a chance to tow slow and get everything to the advanced site well before Shore Sweep Day, so we're not tied up with it for hours and hours on Shore Sweep
Right,
morning.
right. Yeah, so that's why we do this 2 weeks in advance. We have these advanced sites because it is a hard job to get all those floats up, and Lord knows there's thousands of them out there in the lake to get. So we're hoping that we get a lot of them done ahead of time, put at the advanced sites so we can pick them up on the day of shore sweep, and or bring them to the locations on Saturday the 21st, where we have heavy equipment and people to help you with those floats.
You know, another thing we really love to see is when the young people get involved. Families that
yeah,
are out
yeah.
there and the kids are helping. My grandson's been doing it with us since he was 4 years old, under a tremendous amount of supervision, we'll
Yeah,
add.
absolutely.
We'd love to have the kids, but we got to ask everybody, you have to help us make it safe for the kids. So be accountable for who's on your boat. Be accountable for what's going on. Be accountable for everything, because the best shore sweep day is a safe shore sweep day.
Absolutely. We cannot emphasize that enough. Safety is key. It's very important that we have a safe and clean shore sweep. So that's the whole point of it.
And as much as we love having the kids, I'm sorry, but you just can't drop kids off to help and go away. If
Yeah,
they're,
that does happen, Kirby.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, I know there's a lot of schools out there that they need to get extra credit for helping somebody do something. So people think, oh, well, short sweep's a great idea. So they'll drive over to one of our locations. The locations we have around the lake, the 14 locations, are to collect the trash. They're all at boat ramps. They're all where we can get the trash up and put into dumpsters. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be trash at that location for people to walk around and pick up.
Mhm.
The idea is to try to get the lake cleaned, and there's so many parks out there that are hurting right now and really need some help. So um, keep this in mind. If you're going to help at shore sweep, if you go to register at a site, that's probably not where you're going to be cleaning. You're going to be cleaning at some location that is a park next door, a park a few miles away, or wherever the captain happens to send you. If you know of a park, ahead of time that you think, oh, wow, that park's a mess, let's go clean it up, go clean it up ahead of time. And then just take your trash to one of those 14 locations and they'll make sure that it's handled properly. So this is a great way to get kids involved. You can take them all into a park and clean, bring the trash to us, get your treats and your t-shirts and call it a day. But the locations of where the pickups are, the 14 locations, for the most part, will not be this place that you will be cleaning if you're walking.
And it varies as you go around the
Yes.
lake. Everyone knows
Yeah.
Lake Lanier has a lot of unique personalities and unique in different areas. So
Yes.
each site works differently. So you just can't think there's a blanket program that's going to
No,
work everywhere.
no,
Every site has
absolutely.
to
Every
figure out
site
their
is
thing.
different and they have to figure it out. So, if you want to do some advanced planning yourself, like I said, if you know a park out there that needs help and you want to go the day of shore sweep and go clean it and then bring the trash to a site, that would be an excellent way to handle it. But if you want to go to the site first, that's great. Check in and then you figure out where you're going to go and you take your group and you go off to the site and you do your cleaning and bring it all back.
Sure. And again, we do have the ability for groups to pre-register.
Yes.
So rather than waiting till day of, you pick your group leader, go on site, pre-register. It gets all of the documentation we need for insurance protections and other things, and it makes sure your group is going to be on our radar and
For
participating.
sure.
Thank you very
For
much.
sure. Yes, we would love everybody that goes out to clean to register ahead of time. That waiver is very important. We want to make sure that everybody does a waiver. So registering pretty much frees you up of having to do any of that stuff on the day of. So please do register.
I know at our location, we have one line for the people that pre-registered and one for those that are registering that
Right,
day.
right.
And about 10 to 1, they go through
Yeah,
pre-registered.
yeah,
Pretty
absolutely.
quick.
It's pretty
So it's
quick.
hard
If
to,
you're registered, it makes it a dream to go through all this.
they've
Yeah,
got a better shot at the donuts too that
yeah,
way.
absolutely. We can't guarantee t-shirts if you don't register. We can't guarantee me even if you do because of the amount of people, but it's going to give you a much better shot of getting one if you register.
So Bonnie, on top of our volunteers, and last year we had almost 1,600, if I remember
Yeah,
the
with
number.
1,600,
It was
yeah.
amazing. We have a lot of corporate sponsors that help us all around the lake. Some help us financially,
Oh, yeah.
some help us with equipment, some help with
Yeah,
dumpsters.
yeah.
This couldn't happen without the corporate
Oh,
sponsors.
heck no. I mean, United Rentals alone, who we love, puts heavy equipment at the sites that we need them at, which is about 12 sites that we're going to have United Rental at this year. And they bring an operator to operate that piece of equipment. And without them and without their support and picking those big, huge pieces of styrofoam up and getting them in the dumpsters, and these guys are masters. I mean, they load it so that there's no space in that dumpster. It's absolutely full, which helps us too because dumpsters are expensive. So we love United Rental, MSI, Marine Specialties, Martin Docks, Boat Dock Works. Whole bunch of them go out there on the day of. They go to those advanced sites and they pick up all the floats and all the stuff that's on the advanced sites and then bring it to a location. We virtually can't do this without their support
Right.
and their help, both monetarily, all the people on the back of the t-shirt, thank them and make sure you make a note as to who it is that does support this event. And without them, we can't have it. We can't do it.
Thank each and every one of them, and you'll see their names at every site, and you'll see their names on the back of the shirts for the next 12 months. Be sure to go. Thanks for sponsoring Shore Sweep.
Yeah,
And
it's
we'll
really
look forward to
important.
seeing you again next
And
year.
being a small volunteer organization like we are, without all the support of our community and our friends and people like you out there on the lake, living there, wanting to do the right thing, we can't do this. It's all about us.
I'm gonna go a little off script as a segue here, but we talked about this at one of the recent open
Yeah.
houses we had here at our new offices for the Lake Lanier Association. You know, the floats are a nightmare. There are just too many of them out there loose. There's too many of them that weigh way too much. They're what fills up the dumpsters. They're hard to get into certain landfills and different things. And unfortunately, a lot of those floats aren't just broken out from under a dock. They're from dock guys out there working on our lake who just don't do things the right way.
Right.
And it's easier to let it float away than to pay the fees to get it off the lake, even though they may be charging their customer for that.
Right, right.
So when we're talking about these dock builders that you're going to see on the t-shirts and you know are good reputable companies, they're the ones you want to use because
Yeah.
they're going to make sure we don't have to clean up after them a year from now.
Yeah, absolutely. When you go on the lake and you see like 5 or 6 floats all going down the lake together, they didn't have yeah, absolutely. They didn't have a group meeting and decide to do that. They were all released at the same time. So, it's not a good thing. And at some point, hopefully we can figure out a way to recycle them or do something else with them besides put them in a landfill because that alone is bad. So hopefully, if you're going to have work done on your dock, use reputable builders, use people that know how to do it because they're going to stay on your dock, which is where they belong, and not end up at shore sweep or one of these cleanups that we have to do to try to get them off.
Right. And my segue to that was going to be every year it seems like somebody calls and wants us to deal with an abandoned boat in their neighborhood or wants us to deal with an abandoned dock in their neighborhood. For one thing, that's a really expensive process. And for another thing, there's a whole different procedure outside of shore sweep
Yeah, yeah.
that falls into that involves law enforcement and everyone else. So just preemptively up front, this is not an abandoned dock, abandoned boat cleanup project.
No, it's not. Now, there are some abandoned boats out there that we as an organization will tag and get a professional to go out and do it, and we can handle it in a professional way with paperwork and all those other kind of things that go along with boats being taken out of the lake. Same thing with docks. But if you see an abandoned boat or a dock, or you go to a park and you see somebody that's actually camping there, but maybe their gear is all just sitting there and they're not there, leave that stuff alone. That is not what Shore Sweep is about. It's about loose trash that's out there, the cans, the bottles, the grills that are left on islands, all the other kind of things like that.
Random floats you can get.
Floats you can get.
Mhm.
All that goes to Shore Sweep. If it's actually, it belongs to somebody, or it's a boat that is abandoned or something on a shoreline, please leave that alone. report it. We would love for you to report those kind of things, and we'll see what we can do about it. But don't try to get that at Shore Sweep.
So that's a lot of what Shore Sweep is not, but what Shore Sweep is the largest single day freshwater lake cleanup in the U.S. every single year. And it happens because we have so many wonderful volunteers, from
Oh,
captains all the way down to the last person out there on a jet ski. And by the way, jet skis are great tools for handling
oh,
floats
they
and
are.
stuff.
They're
Yeah.
they're awesome. Jet skis can get you around, and it can get what we need for Shore Sweep. So if you got jet skis out there and you're thinking about helping with Shore Sweep, they're a great way to help.
We get a lot of community teams working together. Just a
Yes.
couple of neighbors that don't necessarily know who we even are, but know that this happens every year.
Yeah.
And they'll band together on their jet skis and clean out an entire cove, take it to an advanced site. So the day before Shore Sweep gets there, they've already made a big dent in some problems that were right there in their own neighborhood.
Absolutely. My neighbors, I live in the Gwinnett County part of the lake, and we have a site right there, at Gwinnett Park, which, believe it or not, is the only time it's open is at Shore Sweep.
Mhm.
It's like Brigadoon. Suddenly, there's Shore Sweep at Gwinnett Park. But
Yeah.
anyways, they all band together the day of Shore Sweep. A lot of them come and run the site. The rest of them go out and clean up around the whole neighborhood. It's a big group effort. We have a big party afterwards. It's a fun thing to do with your neighbors. And if you don't know your neighbors and you want to get to know your neighbors, this is a great excuse to say, hey, my neighbors, let's get together. Let's do Shore Sweep. Let's have a party afterwards or something. And
Hmm.
it's a fun way to celebrate the lake and do something really good for the environment and for Lake Lanier.
And if you're part of a user group on the lake, for example, the Crappie Club does a ton of
Oh, yeah.
does it every single year.
They help us a
My
lot.
buddy Kirby, my other
Yeah,
Kirby in
Kirby,
crime
yeah.
there, and the Crappie Club, they're great every year. The last couple of years, we've had the Atlanta Wake Surfing Club get involved.
Right.
And I know people feel a certain way about that, but I'll tell you what, those guys go out there and collect a ton of trash and promote responsible wakeboarding while they're
Yeah,
doing it
yeah,
as well, or wake surfing. So if you're a part of a group that uses Lake Lanier, a sailing club, whatever it might
If you're a
be,
kayak club, we love kayakers too. You guys
absolutely.
can get into little places around a site that normal big boats can't get in, even jet skis can't get in. So kayaks are kind of critical too. So if you have a kayak and you want to clean up around your neighborhood, this is a great thing to do. And you know what? It teaches you how to kayak better too.
It
Because you
does.
learn how to get in there and get in and out of your boat and do all kinds of stuff.
Have
So
the balance,
just vest, always
please,
wear a life vest, but
please, and
please,
gloves.
and gloves. But it's a fun way to learn how to kayak and to do something good.
And as I recall from the captain's meeting, there's no Georgia game that day.
No, yeah,
So
yay.
advanced registration is open now. Go to lakelanierAssociation.org, lakelanier.org. Really easy to find. Just follow it to Shore Sweep. Get your group registered, get your family registered, get yourself registered, get yourself all set up. The advanced site's open 2 weeks in advance, which is
Right,
about a week after Labor
the
Day.
7th.
Yeah, gives us plenty of time to work on those things. Again, can't overemphasize safety. And you
Yeah,
captains of your
please.
vessels, please
Yeah.
be responsible. Can't oversize being accountable and responsible for the young people that jump in and help. Have we forgotten anything, Bonnie?
Not that I could think of, except to thank all our volunteers.
Amen.
Once again, without you guys, there is no Shore Sweep. So thank you all for stepping up and for helping getting this done. Let's see if we can't have a record year this year, Kirby. What do you think we're going to do?
That's a double-edged sword. We get more
Yeah.
tons every year, but it's like a record year
Yeah.
for registrations. How about that?
Yeah.
We'll go 1,700. That's the one I'll cheer for.
Registration, but yeah, I always tell people, they go, "Oh, you want to break your record?" And I'm like, not really. It would be nice if we had Short Sweep and we only had to take 5 tons off as opposed to 90 tons
Yeah,
off. I mean, that would be my goal,
that
but
would be lovely.
we're not there yet. So let's see how much we can get off, because there's a lot of floats out there from last year when we had sort of a mini drought and they were high and dry. Go for it.
I'm going to throw one more thing in here. This is literally a year-round effort for the Lake Lanier Association. It's one of many things that we do along with the riprapping of the shoreline. That's going to be the second part of our program today. But I will tell you that Bonnie is already working on the 2025 shore sweep in the back of her mind, even though she's wide open going into it this year. I will
Yeah.
also tell you, Victoria, our executive director,
Yes.
and Jacqueline, who's now on
Jacqueline.
board helping promote,
Yes.
they are nonstop putting a ton of time and energy into this. Bonnie is a volunteer 12 months plus 2 out of every single year. So thank you. Shore Sweep wouldn't happen without you, and we really are appreciative.
Oh, Kirby, Kirby, I have a lot of help. I'm basically an air traffic controller, as I like to say. I don't really get to do much except tell people where to go. But
You're good at that.
yeah, but like I said, it's a volunteer effort. Thank you, thanks to all of you.
So get on there, get registered, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday, September 21st at 8 a.m. at a shore sweep site near you. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on what the Lake Lanier Association has going on right now in just a minute.
A full Lake Lanier is important and vital to the 5 million people who rely on it for drinking water. Lake Lanier Association's advocacy with the Corps of Engineers and city, county, and state relationships, along with our initiatives like RIPRAP, protect and maintain the unique island shoreline of Lake Lanier. Learn more about the work of the Lake Lanier Association or how to become a member, a volunteer, or to donate at lakelanier.org.
The Lake Lanier Association spearheads the only initiative on Lanier to save and protect the islands of Lake Lanier. As more and more of the shoreline erodes and falls into the lake, these areas between the islands become shallower and less usable for safe recreation. There are some areas on the lake where the entire island has disappeared as a result of constant erosion. The loss of these islands is not only a loss for recreation, but also for storage capacity, as the sediment added to the lake reduces storage capacity for the drinking water provided by Lanier. Since the LLA Shoreline Initiative's inception in 2014, 12 islands and approximately 2 miles of shoreline have been protected by the Lake Lanier Association. While many people assume the Corps of Engineers are lining these islands, the reality is the shoreline on these 12 islands has come to protection fruition by a combination of public and private funding under the management of the Lake Lanier Association. We are thankful for the funding support we have received, which allows us to complete these projects without spending membership funding on the Island Erosion Plan. Over the course of the coming months, thanks to the LLA's partnerships with Forsyth, Hall, and Gwinnett counties, and lake levels permitting, we are planning to install another full mile of riprap on critical areas of Lake Lanier. This past month, we hosted a tour aboard the LLA's Miss Jackie with members of the Gwinnett County Department of Water Resources, including Catherine Gerd, Project Administrator, Kevin Farrell, Permitting and Regulatory Services, Bridget Hummam, Scientist and Technical Services, and Rachel Jones, Stormwater and Capital Planning Section Manager. The Lake Lanier Association is grateful for the team from Gwinnett County Department of Water Resources for their continued support of the LLA's Island Restoration Project and Shore Sweep, and we look forward to continuing success on additional projects in the future. We had the opportunity to interview Miss Gerd, Miss Hummam, and Miss Jones at the end of our tour. Please allow me to apologize in advance for wind noise and poor audio quality, but here they are.
As a scientist with technical services, most of my job revolves around Lake Lanier, which is the drinking water source for all of Gwinnett County. So we're very invested in what happens in the lake and keeping the water in good condition as it is now, and working with groups like the Lake Lanier Association to ensure that's possible.
Hi, I'm Catherine Gerd. I am Project Administrator over the Capital Improvement Program for Gwinnett County's Department of Water Resources. What that means is I oversee delivery of all the water, sewer, and stormwater projects that we do every year. As Bridget said, Lake Lanier is our drinking water source, and it's very important to us, and we are happy to partner with the Lake Lanier Association for these projects that help keep the waters clean and the shoreline safe.
I'm Rachel Jones, and I am the Section Manager for Stormwater Capital Planning, and I've been involved since I joined Gwinnett County 7 years ago with the Watershed Improvement Program, and with that program we focus on stormwater quality that's entering our rivers and lakes, and that includes Lake Lanier, and this has been a part of that program for longer than I've been here, so we're glad to partner.
Stop for the county?
Sure, we've had an ongoing relationship over many years. We see the benefits of protecting the shoreline, and we're happy to partner and provide this funding to enable you to stabilize more shorelines and protect more islands.
Great. Well, we thank you all very much for your support. We thank you for being here today. We'll look forward to getting you some pictures of that shoreline when it's done, and we'll take another ride to look at it when it's finished. How's
Awesome.
That? Sounds good.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Once again, we'd like to thank the Gwinnett County Department of Water Resources for their continued support of the Lake Lanier Association. Special thanks to Bonny Putney for joining us regarding Shore Sweep 2024, and remind you it's coming up Saturday, September 21st. So be sure to register today following the Clean Lake tab at lakelanier.org, and we'll see you at Shore Sweep. We'd also like to thank Catherine Gerd, Kevin Farrell, Bridget Hummam, and Rachel Jones from the Gwinnett County Department of Water Resources for joining us aboard the Miss Jackie. Also thanks to LLA Adopt a Lake Board members, Boat Captain Tom Shellock, and Queen of Water Testing Beverly Nichols for arranging and hosting the tour. Please feel free to pass this show along to any interested friends or lake neighbors. And if you have yet to join or renew with the Lake Lanier Association, we'd love to welcome you aboard or welcome you back today. For details, go to lakelanier.org. We'll see you again next month for Live on Lanier, brought to you by the Lake Lanier Association.